immerse yourself into the world of Creepy Man. He's waiting for you.
Have you ever wondered what's hiding in your basement? Basements are supposed to be quiet places, storage rooms for dusty boxes and old tools. But what if something else was down there? Something that remembers? No, really. When the lights are off and the silence sets in, what if you're not alone down there? Something is waiting for you. Tonight's story isn't just scary, it's a warning. A reminder that some doors should never be opened. So, turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and prepare yourself. What you're about to hear might stay with you long after this video ends, because this is The Thing in the Basement. It was supposed to be a fresh start. When David Harrow, a widowed father of one, moved into the old Greystone property just outside Derry, Maine, all he wanted was peace. A quiet place to rebuild life for his daughter Emily, away from the noise of the city, away from the memories. His wife had died in a car crash just 8 months earlier. Their daughter Emily had barely spoken since. David needed a reset, someplace quiet, secluded, a home where they could forget and begin again. The house was a creaky Victorian relic. It was underpriced, suspiciously. The kind of price that comes with whispers and stories people avoid saying out loud. The realtor mentioned it belonged to a retired antique collector who had died unexpectedly. David didn't ask questions. He saw a place to heal. David should have known. The basement had a heavy iron door, a thick bolt, almost like a vault. Previous owner stored antiques down there, the realtor said with a too-quick smile. Some folks are particular about their basements. David figured it was nothing. He had bigger things to worry about. David bought it anyway. It started with crying. David heard it first on a rainy Tuesday night. The wind was howling through the trees. Thunder rumbled in the distance. He was in bed, halfway through a bottle of whiskey, when he heard it. At first, he thought it was Emily. He rushed to her room, empty. She was sound asleep, clutching her stuffed rabbit. But the crying continued. Lower now, from beneath the wooden floor. He froze. It's the basement. The next night, Emily started having nightmares. Faint, muffled, like it was echoing from beneath the floorboards. She'd wake up screaming, pointing to the floor. There's someone downstairs, Daddy. I hear them at night. They're sad and crying. David brushed it off as anxiety from the move. It's just old pipes, he said. Homes this old make weird sounds. But David wasn't convinced. He heard it too. 3:12 a.m., coming from the basement. He grabbed the flashlight, stepped down the wooden steps that groaned with every step. The crying stopped. Silence. Then, the light flickered. He watched the basement door rattle. David installed a motion-triggered camera just outside the basement door. A cheap model, just to prove to himself it was nothing but imagination. The next morning, he checked the footage. The screen stayed still. Nothing at first. Hours of silence, static. Then at exactly 3:12 a.m., the feed distorted. Lines across the screen, audio crackling. Something moved. The camera shook. The temperature on the screen display dropped. Then, in the top right corner, barely visible, a shape. A crouched figure, sobbing, with long black hair. The figure turned its head slowly toward the camera. Then, it smiled, and then it jerked its head toward the camera. David recoiled from the screen. He replayed the footage, frame by frame. It was real. The figure was there. Then in a split second, it disappeared. David dug into the house's history. and what he found made his skin crawl. In 1963, a woman named Margaret Keller lived there with her son, Timothy. According to archived newspaper clippings and coroner reports, Margaret believed her child was possessed by darkness. She claimed he talked to shadows and fed on silence. He was locked in the basement by his mother. She refused to feed him, said she was starving the evil out. Neighbors said they heard screams, crying, scratching at the walls. Until one day, it stopped. He died screaming in the dark. When police forced the door open, they found the boy's burned remains beside a pile of scorched dolls and melted candles, right where David's washer and dryer now sit. Margaret was found upstairs, sitting in a rocking chair, humming a lullaby. "The darkness is gone now," she told the officers, smiling with blood on her hands. Emily started acting strange after David learned all this. She stopped eating. She stopped talking. She stopped sleeping. Started speaking in a voice that wasn't hers. She began humming at night. The same tune Margaret once hummed. One night, Emily whispered, "He's not crying anymore, Daddy," smiling. David made one last mistake. He opened the basement door and walked in. The air was thick, humid like breath. The flashlight barely worked. As he stepped deeper, something shifted behind him. The door slammed shut. Pitch black. The basement was colder than before. The walls dripped moisture. David turned the light toward the far wall and saw handprints, tiny ones, burned into the concrete. Dozens of them, some still smoldering. Then the whisper again. From the corner of the room, a figure stood up. Small, head tilted. A gaping smile stretched ear to ear. "You shouldn't have let me out, Daddy." It wasn't Emily. David Harrow was never found. When the police arrived the next morning, the basement door was locked from the inside. Emily sat quietly on the stairs. She was humming. She's never spoken a word since. The footage? Gone. The files erased. The only clue left behind was one frame of corrupted video footage, grainy and distorted. But if you brighten the image just right, you can see it. A ghostly boy, grinning in the dark, hollow eyes, waiting. The house still stands, vacant, for now. If you're still watching, here's your warning. Some basements hide old furniture. Others hide old sins. If yours has a door that's always locked, leave it that way. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button. Subscribe for more nightmares just like this one. Comment below. Would you open the basement door if you heard someone crying? And remember, turn the lights out, but don't look back. See you soon.